We're told not to film the celebrations that conclude the evening.
They're naked. They're naked in there. They're in this hotel room together, naked, and this guy's standing in the corner watching.
And it's not clear exactly what goes on. But once outside the lobby, we could clearly see a room containing naked women being photographed. With Andrew's team increasingly conscious of negative publicity, tonight could be the last.
I don't think prostitution is legal in Romania. I don't think that they're that progressive. Not to say there's anything wrong with sex work, but there is when you're purchasing women who have been trafficked.
Chance to interview him.
Bro, I have had group sex for way less than $5,000.
You consider the possibility that some of the things that you've said, which have been viewed 11 billion times, may lead to an attitude towards women that could be harmful.
I accept that across all of that viewership, I have perhaps, possibly, maybe said one thing, or maybe two, that has upset a large range of people.
Wouldn't it make sense to just...
You, at the beginning of this video, threatened to slash women with swords, but maybe just one or two things that might upset people. You said that rape victims should be held accountable for their actions, that they need to take responsibility for getting raped.
Just apologize for some of the things you said, acknowledge that they have caused harm, and say that you won't say those things again.
No, and I'll tell you why. I'm not going to apologize for the edits of other people. I'm not going to apologize for the misunderstandings of other people.
There is nothing less masculine than a person who can't own up to being wrong. Like, I don't understand why that's, I mean, in the non-traditional sense of what masculinity is, because I think that you don't have to be a man to have masculine traits or whatever. And I don't think these sorts of things need to be tied necessarily to the gender binary. But it's embarrassing to exist in this world as somebody who can't take responsibility or ownership of their actions. You are a fundamentally flawed person if you cannot admit ever to being wrong. It's okay to be wrong. That's how you learn and you grow, but you need to own up to that. Like, this is bitch behavior.
A whole bunch of clips people are making which make me look very bad. That's not good for my life. That's not good for business.
The clips that portray you in a negative light also help the algorithm to make you become more famous and more viral.
I'm not an expert on algorithms.
He literally tells the people in Hustlers University to post the most controversial clips, but he won't take ownership for that.
For social media platforms, I do not have most of them installed on my phone. I cannot control what a 15-year-old Singaporean decides to do when he chops me up and calls me names. I can't control that, and I wouldn't try to.
There has been a lot of bad press about you. That's made some nervousness within members of the war, and why is that?
Well, obviously, when people are going to continue to lie and continue to do very, very shallow, very, very fictitious...
Bro, you're talking about continuing to lie? You said that webcams are the #1 reason that male suicide is declined. You said that webcam girls are the #1 best form of therapy for people with mental health problems. A teaching that says for men to lower their gaze instead of shaming a woman. The prophet and his cousins came across a beautiful woman who wanted to speak to the prophet, and his cousin kept staring at her, and he kept turning his cousin's face away, indicating that her attire wasn't the problem. His attention was the problem. But yet Andrew Tate wants you to think that being a good follower of the prophet means flying on private jets, pimping women, smoking cigars, and drinking whiskey.
Investigations, people are going to lose faith in you. The media has lost all credibility because you do not try and portray the truth anymore.
One thing that stands in the way of truth, for example, is when we often...
It was webkins, not webcams, yeah. It was that motherfucker at the curio shop. Welcome to the curio shop. Hope you find what you're looking for. That's a nice gem. #1 reason for male suicide decline.
We have full access to speak to anyone we want, but in this documentary, we've been very closely watched by the sartorial shooter, Alpha Wolf, picking who we can speak to, you know, monitoring the interview. What is it that you're worried that we're going to find out?
These questions are so low.
This is low. It's low. We let you in. We tried to take care.
That guy said these questions are so loaded, and Andrew Tate said, it's low. Yeah, it's low. He said loaded, not low.
You're sitting here and just attacking us for 3 hours, bro.
The world is asking these questions, and the viewers will be asking these questions.
It's a consistent leading question, it's a consistent narrative. Where's the question about the good he's doing for men? Well, there's a very clear narrative. I need to leave.
In the days afterwards, Tate is banned from YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, to the protest of his fans.
They have shut us down. This is warfare against the West.
For a moment,
Going on Alex Jones's show to prove that you're not a fucking crazy right-winger.
it seems the deplatforming has worked. But then, he reappears on Instagram with an emoji covering his face.
You're lost. You understand you're living inside of a mechanism which is designed to control you, but you don't.
He moves to Dubai, converts to Islam,
No, he did not.
sets up a new bank entirely owned by him, and rebrands the Hustlers University as the real world.
Like the reality TV show, The Real World.
In the
That
first
can't be great for search engine optimization.
month after being deplatformed, he made $11 million and got 250 million views on TikTok alone. Months later, Elon Musk reinstates his Twitter account and he gains 1 million followers in 24 hours.
I have no criminal charges. There's no charges at all against me.
Tough break there, Andrew of the past. Wonder if that's still true today.
I've not hurt any women. No women are coming forward saying Andrew hit me.
Ooh. Tough break there, bud. I bet you wish you could go back to this time, don't you?
Zero.
Andrew maintains that he has never abused a woman. But when we get back from Romania, we finally manage to speak to some women from his past. Amelia began seeing Andrew in 2013.
This is the woman whose story I covered on TYT when I got all those weird comments.
Due to fear of harassment from his fans, she is withholding her real name.
I always knew, even from back in the day, there was always things said bad about him. But when I'd seen him again in 2013, I thought, oh, all these rumours about him may be false because he's actually been really lovely. The first time I went around his house, because before it was like maybe 3-4 times we've gone on dates, we started to make out on the bed. Out of the blue, he literally just stopped what he was doing and just laid back. He said, I'm just contemplating whether I should rape you or not.
I think one of the most infuriating things I saw in the comments of that video I posted was people saying, why is she coming forward now? Why didn't she go to the police in 2013? Because she did. She did go to the police. She did go to the police right after this. And again in 2015. So even when they do what these people are demanding they do, it's not enough.
And I promise you, within an instant, he changed. He just jumped straight on top of me, grabbed my throat, started suffocating me, strangling me. The more I didn't
What did the cops do? Absolutely nothing.
It made him so much more aggressive to the point where he was pinning me down, hurting me. The things he was saying to me, he was like, who do you belong to? Who do you belong to? And the more I couldn't say it, the more he'd hurt me. So I couldn't see an escape. And at that point, I just gave up. I just gave up. And then when it stopped, he went to the bathroom and acted as if it was normal. So I'm like, maybe I did I want it? Did I not? I definitely said to him, please don't, and he told me shut the fuck up. Definitely got strangled. I definitely didn't want it. Did he think I wanted it? When you look back, the psychological warfare you have with yourself is like you couldn't even imagine. You wouldn't know, you wouldn't understand it unless you've been through it. Can't even say the damn word.
Have you since come to terms with the notion that that may not have been consensual, that may have been...
I know for a fact it wasn't consensual.
But it's hard to use the word.
Even though I know technically it's true, that did happen, that is what happened to me, I still don't like vocalizing it.
Amelia's method of coping with the alleged rapes was to pretend to herself that it was a normal relationship.
The abuse wasn't consensual because he knew I didn't want it, which he confirms in multiple voice messages and texts to me.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turned me on. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. And all the women I've ever slept with, not a single one has ever bitched or complained like you are bitching and complaining now.
Every few months, Andrew would send me on a different number, messages to remind me of how dangerous he was.
I thought I'd remind you of the caliber of man I am. I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet.
scare tactics to make sure I wouldn't go anywhere, go to the police, wouldn't report, would always be under his control. It was always to remind me that he was there.
After 6 months, Amelia eventually left Andrew when she says she began to fear for her own life. In 2014, she also decided to report the incident to police, who logged it.
A year after, I got a phone call from a police officer from Hertfordshire Police. She said to me, "We have 2 other girls that have come forward and said the exact same thing as you. Would you please be willing to come onto this investigation to make this case?"
How do you have the audacity to defend this man when 3 women, well before Andrew Tate was famous, independently went to the police and said that he raped them? 3 separate women, all long before he was famous.
Stronger, and without any hesitation, I said yes. And I thought, well, if there's 2 other girls, I'm not alone now. I'm not alone.
One of those women was Sally. She was 20 when Andrew Tate approached her for webcam work. Due to fears of harassment from his fan base, she is also withholding her real name.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. Sorry, I don't want to cry.
It's okay.
So then when I came out of the bathroom, he was super, super nice. Like, from what I remember, Andrew didn't have any alcohol at all. It was literally just me. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night. Then it was kind of like every single night I would work.
Were there any other instances where there was physical abuse?
He used to strangle us as well. There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, like, I saw him raping her. And, when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom and he said, "Oh, I don't give a fuck if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." That's kind of when I knew, I had to get out of there. I stopped working for Andrew about March, April time, and I went to the police shortly after that. Nothing was done, really. The other girl that he had raped, she went to the police, and then that's when they arrested him and took him into custody for like 2 days. When Andrew was arrested, we were taken in for a proper interview and it kind of just got left. I would send emails asking them to update, I'd hear nothing back.
When we reached out to Hertfordshire Police about this, they had this to say. We acknowledge that there were some delays to the investigation. This was addressed at the time and apologies were made. The decision to prosecute based on the police's evidence would be up to the Crown Prosecution Service.
You took 4 years to send the evidence to the Crown Prosecution Service in the first place. So, don't pretend that you gave a shit.
Unfortunately, they turned around and just said, "Oh, we can't continue this case anymore. It's just insufficient evidence."
You witnessed the rape occurring. Did that not count as evidence for them?
No. They openly said it's really, really difficult to prove rape. Very difficult.
The Crown Prosecution Service said, in this case, we carefully reviewed all the evidence provided by the police regarding each complaint.
Which included, by the way, voice recordings of him saying, "I loved raping you." And that wasn't enough evidence.
And concluded it did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction.
A voice recording of him admitting to the rape, tons of text messages, saying that he raped women and an eyewitness who saw the rape happen. That wasn't enough?
In the UK, only 1 in 100 reported rapes result in a charge, let alone a conviction. In a statement issued via his lawyer in Romania, Tate denied the assault or rape. He said, "They wanted money because I fired them. The police understood after the investigation that I am innocent, and the police found messages from the girls' phones where they were talking between themselves and planning to lie about me." Sally said the CPS sent a letter saying that one of the reasons they didn't charge Tate was because they found voice notes on our phones where we talked about whether we should tell the police that he gave us alcohol. We were talking about it because that is what happened. He used to get us drunk.
They clearly didn't think a text from a man to a woman saying, "I love raping you. I know what I do to you is abusive and controlling." To CPS, apparently, that's not enough. I did the bravest thing I think I ever done in my life, which was hell, 4 years of absolute hell, going through an investigation without anyone knowing, and basically to do it alone. Was all a waste.
Despite repeated requests, Tate's lawyer did not provide a response to Amelia's allegations. The Romanian investigation into Andrew Tate and his brother finally led to an arrest on the 29th of December.
The Matrix has attacked me.
Bro, you're gonna feel like such a bitch when you're sitting in Romanian prison for the next 20 fucking years of your life. And the last statement you made publicly was, "The Matrix is attacking me."
Police accused them of using the Loverboy method to traffic at least 6 women into a Romania-based webcam sex business. But we now know similar allegations have dogged Tate for years. His followers are obsessed with the idea that the Matrix is conspiring against him. But if anyone in this story is the victim of a conspiracy, is it the multi-millionaire celebrity? Or is it the women who claim they were abandoned by the system?
You know, you see all these young men talking about how he's such a great guy and he's their idol and stuff, and that's so difficult to see. There are better role models out there. Don't be fooled by all the money and the nice cars and all the women. Working on yourself and becoming a better man and better mindset, yeah, but real men don't lay their hands on women.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell. And we saw that Andrew Tate was so ready to beat the crap out of someone who didn't have any fighting experience or training or whatever. So why would he not get that same rush out of attacking women?